You're listening to Civic Media. You can tune into any of our live shows on any radio station across the state with the Civic Media app. Find us in your phone's app store and listen anytime, anywhere. This is your WGBW Daily News Roundup for the Talk of Green Bay, 97.9 FM and 1590 AM.
Civic Media News. I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. Wisconsin has a $4.5 billion budget surplus. Wisconsin also has close to $2 billion in its rainy day fund. That's a record. Governor Evers says the extra money should be reinvested in the next state budget. Republicans have said they want to give the money back to taxpayers. Most public schools in Wisconsin will get more money from the state this year. The Department of Public Instruction is out with its general state aid figures. 2/3 of school districts will get more money, a third will get less. In all, Wisconsin is sending about $5.5 billion to local schools. Today is the last day to register to vote in Wisconsin by mail or online. In-person early voting starts next week. Kate Martin is Menominee City Clerk. She says planning ahead will ensure local clerks run a free and fair election.
The less work that they have to do in order to help voters get through that process on Election Day, the better and the least frustrating it is for voters themselves.
Martin says voters can help by having required documentation on hand when they register. Former President Barack Obama will campaign for Kamala Harris in Wisconsin next week. He'll join Democratic vice presidential candidate Tim Walz in Madison on Tuesday. Tuesday is also the first day of in-person early voting in Wisconsin. Wisconsin lawmakers are looking at potential ways to curb artificial intelligence abuses. Sarah Alt is an ethical AI expert who serves on the legislature's AI task force. At a meeting yesterday, she sounded skeptical that licensing and professional codes could help.
Then people just go looking for places where they can work outside of that code.
This summer, the governor's AI task force recommended K-12 digital literacy training, help for people who lose their jobs due to AI, and investing in more research. At least 6 Wisconsin poultry farms are giving away thousands of chickens after an Iowa-based processor suddenly closed last week. Farmers who need help can contact the Wisconsin Farm Center. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Here's what you need to know closer to home.
For WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The Green Bay Public School District presented its 2024-25 budget to the Board of Education at a special meeting Monday night. Chief Financial Officer Angie Roble.
Like I mentioned, we're a balanced budget. We balanced the budget this year, $311.4 million.
There will be a public hearing on the budget October 28th at 5:30. The school board will then vote on it and the mill rates following the public hearing. 9 to 5 Wisconsin and the Main Street Alliance are hosting the 30th State Senate District Candidate Forum tonight at 6 p.m. at Hinterland Brewery in Ashwaubenon. Jamie Wall, the Democratic candidate, is confirmed to attend. Jim Rafter, the Republican candidate, has been invited but has not responded yet. The forums will focus on topics such as paid family and medical leave, affordable child care, and the future of Wisconsin's care economy. A Green Bay correctional inmate pleads not guilty because of mental disease or defect this week for allegedly killing his cellmate. 24-year-old Jason Vogel faces 1 count of first-degree intentional homicide for the death of Micah Laureano on August 27th. The charges have hate crime enhancers because Vogel allegedly targeted Laureano due to his race and sexual preference. Vogel's trial is set for January 27th. Vogel is currently serving 20 years for trying to kill his mother when he was 16. If performing the national anthem at a sporting event is on your bucket list, the Wisconsin Herd is looking for you. The Herd is holding auditions for singers to perform the national anthem at home games for the 2024-25 season in the Oshkosh Arena. Steve Brandis, team president for the Wisconsin Herd.
We're looking for anyone and everyone that has the pipes to really belt out or share the national anthem on the big stage in front of our crowd. And, that could range from individuals that have great vocal skills to groups like a barbershop quartet.
Auditions are from 1 till 2 p.m. Sunday, October 20th at the Oshkosh Arena. See our story on WGBW.FM for a link to register and rules for auditioning. Oconto City Attorney Frank Calvert cannot own any firearms for a year after being convicted of 2 misdemeanor counts of endangering safety by the use of a dangerous weapon for injuring 2 people while target practicing Thanksgiving Day. He pleaded no contest to those downgraded charges Tuesday. He was originally charged with felony counts of recklessly endangering safety. He'll also pay restitution of over $2,800. We're experiencing our first major cold snap of the season, which brings to mind changes that are coming to how the National Weather Service forecasts wind chills. Meteorologist Justin Lowe says NWS wanted to make things simpler for people to understand.
They've surveyed the public, and they said, do you understand what this alert means and what that alert means? And most of the public says, no, we really don't know the difference. So that's why they embarked on this multi-year plan to simplify their alerts.
Lowe says they're getting rid of wind chill watches, advisories, and warnings.
They're switching over to something called extreme cold. So it doesn't matter if it's 30 below zero, just the temperature, or if the wind chill is 30 below zero. Either or, they're going to issue an extreme cold warning.
National Weather Service will now issue an extreme cold warning when temperatures reach 30 below freezing within a 12 to 36 hour span. And that's what you need to know. I'm Lisa Hale, WGBW News.
The Packers have a new kicker. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Packers have signed a new place kicker. He's 33-year-old Brandon McManus, who was with the Denver Broncos for 8 seasons. In 2023, McManus was accused of sexual assault by 2 flight attendants during a Jaguars team flight to London. The NFL investigated and cleared McManus of any charges. The Packers releasing their rookie kicker, Braden Narveson, who led the league in missed field goals with 5 in 6 games. College football. The Badgers head to Evanston to face the Northwestern Wildcats. Now, last November, Northwestern beat Wisconsin 24-10. This week's game to be played at a temporary stadium while Ryan Field is being rebuilt. Luke Fickell.
Whatever they ask us to play or tell us to play, we'll play. If it's a parking lot, we'll play in the parking lot. I don't think we got a whole lot to say after, how we performed and how we played last year. So I could care less where we're playing at. And anytime you go on the road in the Big Ten, you're going to have to handle some things, whether it's, a new stadium, whether it's the wind, whether it's a locker room. It is what it is.
That's Badgers head coach Luke Fickell. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. After Joker Folie à Deux took a nosedive like no movie ever before in its second week of release, and the box office down last weekend overall, Hollywood is hoping the latest comic book movie is a savior. Ticket sales last weekend were down 43% from last year, according to Deadline. That could change in the next couple weeks when the latest chapter of Venom hits the screen. Sony's Venom: The Last Dance opens October 25th, and the studio is hoping for a $70 million take, which would be less than the 2 previous installments, but still an impressive opening. Horror films have made strong showings pretty much all year. How does a milk diet sound? On her Not Today Pal podcast that she hosts with fellow Soprano cast member Robert Eiler, Sopranos star Jamie Lynn Sigler said she went on an 8-day whole milk diet where that's all she put into her system. She calls it a milk cleanse and says it helps rid one's system of parasites. Whole milk for 8 days? Thanks, but I'll take the tapeworm. It seems like people cannot hate the Joker sequel enough. The film has reviewed poorly with critics and audiences, and a legendary screenwriter. Paul Schrader is jumping into the fray, saying he went shopping in the middle of the film. Schrader says he got so bored he went to the store and came back and watched about 10 minutes and then just left altogether. The man who wrote Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and Affliction said, I don't like either of those people. I don't like them as actors. I don't like them as characters. If they came to your house, you'd slip out the back door. That's right. He hates the movie so much he'd leave his house while strangers were there. Ouch. Speaking of the Joker, the studio behind Folie à Deux, Warner Brothers, says it expects to lose between $150 and $200 million on the movie. Variety reports that the film's domestic box office take will probably top out at about $65 million and about $210 million globally. Unfortunately, it cost $200 million to make and $100 million to market. That's more money than I make in a year. Actor, activist, and Wisconsin native Mark Ruffalo literally walked the walk in support of Native Americans voting. Ruffalo participated in a Walk to the Polls event with the Navajo Nation activist Allie Red Horse Young. The Oscar-nominated actor has supported Native American issues for years. Yahoo Entertainment reports that the walk took place in Fort Defiance, Arizona, and was 3 miles long. The purpose? To urge indigenous people in Arizona to go to the polls. You would think a high-profile gig like hosting the Oscars would not be hard to fill. It seems people who are good at it get tired of doing it, possibly because one joke can get you slapped in the face by an irrational actor husband. The search for a host for next spring's Oscars broadcast is on, and according to Deadline, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are being considered. The duo starred in the film Deadpool, which has become one of the highest-grossing films ever. Other celebrities being considered include Dwayne Johnson, Amy Poehler, and Will Ferrell. Billy Farrell would have my vote. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
It is going to be mostly sunny today. Our high right around 56 this afternoon with wind out of the west at 5 to 15. Tonight clear. We'll drop to 33 for an overnight low. Tomorrow sunny 63. By Friday, sunshine with a high of 68. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 35.
That's your WGBW Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WGBW.FM. The national news cycle never stops, but it can be hard to find news about your local community. Civic Media is dedicated to providing quality local and state news coverage across Wisconsin. With the Civic Media app, you can get notifications about local stories that matter to you and your community. Find the free Civic Media app in your phone's app store and choose notifications from the menu to tell us what kind of news you want to hear about.